Hi, my name's Alistair Chapman, and in this video I'm going to take a look at this light fixture from Nanlite, and this is their Mixpanel 60 flat panel LED. Now on the face of it, just looking at it, it doesn't look all that different from a lot of other LED light panels that are on the market today, but there are some really nice and very interesting features in this lamp that do make it quite different from some of the others that are on the market. And in particular, it has the ability to switch between a hard light, this is the hard light mode, and then at the press of a button, a soft light mode. And I'll look at that in a bit more depth a little bit later on in this video. Now if I just put it back to the hard light mode, as this tends to be the mode that I use this lamp with the most, one of the most important things with any LED light is the quality of that light. And they do vary a lot. There are some that are not so good and some that are very, very good. And this lamp really is very, very nice. So if I take my Sekonic color temperature meter, my color meter here, and I do a quick measurement of this lamp, you'll see that we have a CRI right now of 97. Now when I'm using the lamp in its color temperature mode, where we can go from 2700K all the way up to 7500K, the CRI varies between around about 95 and 98. So you always get a really nice color rendition when you're using that color temperature mode from this lamp. So I have no problems at all with the quality of the output and the way skin tones and things like that look when I'm using this lamp. Now the lamp does come in a very nice carry bag, like a little briefcase carry bag, and that makes it very easy to transport and move around. And one accessory that I would really suggest that you do buy, should you get one, is one of the remote controls for this lamp. These are only about $20, then it's not an expensive item, so you really should add it to your shopping list, and then that gives you the ability to remotely control the lamp. So I'm in color temperature mode right now, and from here I can change it, so we can go, oh, I've just changed the mode, didn't want to do that. Let's go back to color temperature mode. I can change my color temperature and I can go down to tungsten. So you can see the lamp has now become warmer, and I can go all the way up to daylight again. The lamp is fully dimmable from 1% to 100% output. Its maximum output is around about 6,600 lumen, and typically it's outputting around about 5,000 lumen depending on the mode that it's in. And there are many, many modes in this light. Because this has both daylight and tungsten LEDs, as well as RGB LEDs, red, green and blue LEDs, we can create almost any color, hue, saturation, intensity that we want from this lamp. So in the color temperature mode that I'm in right now, I can also add a hue offset. So if I spin the lamp around and let's just turn up the output a little bit so you can see it on the wall behind me, I can then change the tint here with a green and magenta offset. So we can tint that lamp very easily. And this is really useful if you have a camera that may have a tint of its own or responds to light in a peculiar way. And then we can offset that with a very simple tint control, just like that. Makes it really easy to get the exact color temperature you want. Now, if you want to work differently, if you want more of a colored effect from this lamp, we've got some different modes. So we have a hue, saturation and intensity mode. And in this mode, we control the hue. So that is the color of the light. And we can choose almost any color that we want, very, very controllable. And then we can change the saturation of the light. It's 100% now. If I reduce the saturation, eventually we just get basically a white light, but then we can make that more saturated and add the color that we want. So that's hue, saturation and intensity mode. And this mode is really useful if you want to create colored wash or something like that in the background of your set or your scene, for lighting up a wall or something like that for a colored effect. Then we have RGB and white mode, which is similar to hue, saturation and intensity, except we control the red, green and blue level and the white level independently. So I can choose each of these levels. So I've got red now. I can then change my white level so we can have less white which gives the equivalent of making the lamp more saturated, and it gives you a different way of controlling the red, green, blue and white elements of this lamp. So we have lots of control when we want to create coloured effects with the light. In the gel mode, you choose between base white balance of 3200K or 5600K. This is your dimming control, and then the selector allows you to choose your different gels as if you're using a true colour gel added on top of, in this case, a 5600K lamp, or perhaps a 3200K lamp. We also have a wide range of special effects. In fact, there are 9 special effects in this lamp. If I start with hue loop, you can see that the light is cycling through a range of hues, and here we can adjust the start and the end hues. You can change the saturation and the speed at which the lamp rotates and cycles through these different hues. Color temperature loop is very similar to hue loop, and we can change our start color temperature, the end color temperature, the speed that it goes between the two, and whether it's a two-way or single-way. In the flash mode, the lamp just flashes on and off, very simple mode, but we can choose whether that's a color or white light. So we could have a flashing white light, or we can have a flashing colored lamp of any of the colors that this lamp can deliver. And again, we can change the hue, the intensity, and the flash rate. The pulse mode is similar to the flash mode, except instead of a hard on-off flash, the lamp pulses, so it gradually gets brighter and dimmer with each flash. The storm mode mimics a thunderstorm, and there are different modes within the thunderstorm. Currently the lamp's set to random, and we can also pause the storm mode so that you can then trigger it manually if you wish, or change the rate of the flash and the intensity of the flashes of lightning. The police car mode mimics the flashing lights of a police car or emergency vehicles, and we can choose between blue and red and blue. We can have blue and white. We can have red, blue and white, and then back to blue, and we have the ability to choose between double, triple, quad or single flashes. The TV mode is designed to mimic somebody watching a television set or computer screen. We can adjust the color temperature, the speed, you can tint it, and you can adjust the dimming range, giving you quite a bit of control over this effect. And paparazzi mimics flash guns going off, let's say at a press event, press conference, fashion show, something like that. Candle or fire, and we have different effects to mimic either a fireplace or a candle. Our next effect is disco light, so if you want to reproduce a discotheque in your scene, it's very easy, and you can change the range of colours that are used and the intensity of the lighting effect. So that's the effects mode. I'm going to come out of the effects mode and go back to the colour temperature mode on the lamp and have a closer look at how you can switch between this being a hard light source and a softer light source. So currently it's set to its hard setting. And in the hard setting, the LEDs have lenses on them so that we get a relatively narrow and controlled beam of light. But if I press the CCT button and hold it briefly, we can go to soft light, and now we have a much softer light source. And if you look at the wall behind me, you can see the difference in that in the hard light setting, it's a more concentrated, narrower beam of light. And in the soft light setting, it's a much wider, more spread, less focused beam of light. And if I spin the lamp around, and let's dim this down a little bit so it's not quite so dazzling, let's have a look at these two modes. So if I now go back to the hard light mode, you can see that the LEDs that are being used by the lamp actually change. So in the hard light mode, we have these individual LEDs arranged in a pattern on the panel, and each one has a lens that focuses the light into a beam. When we go to that soft light mode, what we have is actually the LEDs that are illuminating at the moment are actually arranged around the edge of the lamp, and then we have a light channel system in here that channels the light from those LEDs, and then this has a pattern of tiny dots on it that create a diffuse light source. So in the soft mode, we have a more diffuse light. This is the equivalent now to having a diffusion material, such as some trace or spun or something similar, over a traditional harder LED panel. This means that when I need that softer light without the hard edges to the light coming from this lamp, I can have that. But then at the press of a button, I can have a much more focused, more intense, stronger, more controlled light source. And that gives you a bit more control over spill and things like that. So a single panel giving you those two different types of light without having necessarily to carry lots of spun or trace or diffusion materials for it. It makes it very versatile. Now, if you want, there is an optional softbox for this unit from Nanlite that will create a slightly larger and again very soft lamp, and you might want to look at that if you want a even softer light. But I really do like the controllability of this lamp. Of course, we have DMX, and I've been running it off this little PAG battery here during this demo and during this video, so we can run it off either battery power, and at 60 watts you don't need special high power batteries, just any good quality V-Lock battery will run it, or it does come with a mains adapter that you can use to power it off the mains when you need to run it off mains power. So that's the Nanlite Mixpanel 60, really nice little light with some really nice features, very, very versatile, great color temperature control, great RGB control for effects and things like that. You have remote control and of course that switchable between hard and soft light. Thank you for watching.